For months now, Red Bull Racing has found itself in an unprecedented situation. A team synonymous with dominance for the past decade now faces a major question mark ahead of the most drastic regulation changes in modern Formula One history in the 2026 season. The project of developing its own power unit for the first time with Ford, the departure of Adrian Newey, the mastermind behind championship-winning cars for nearly 2 decades, and the collapse of the old management structure have led many in the paddock to believe one thing: Red Bull's golden era is over. This narrative has been growing strongly throughout 2024 and into 2025. Outside the team, Red Bull's rivals, both openly and secretly, believe that the 2026 regulations will mark Red Bull's return to the midfield. There are even suggestions that they will begin the new era with a significant gap, particularly to Mercedes. But now, as the 2026 season approaches, the narrative is rapidly shifting, and this shift is coming not from official statements, but from whispers within the paddock. Those close to Red Bull are beginning to sense a shift in the internal climate. Where previously the tone had been more about survival and minimizing losses, now a calmer, more controlled confidence emerged. Journalists heard different things from the engineers. The technicians spoke in a more optimistic tone. And most strikingly, Max Verstappen himself no longer sounded like a driver preparing a road trip plan. The 2026 season wasn't just a technical rule change for Red Bull Racing. It was a life-or-death moment for the team's identity. For the first time since entering Formula One in 2005, Red Bull was entering a new era without Adrian Newey. For nearly 2 decades, every Red Bull World Championship car was born from his philosophy and technical vision. From Sebastian Vettel to Max Verstappen, Newey's approach to Red Bull speed was inextricably linked to Red Bull's speed. The loss of this figure alone was enough to shake many people's confidence in the future. But Red Bull's problems didn't stop there. In the past 18 months, they had also lost several key figures who had been pillars of organizational stability. The figures who shaped the team's work culture, decision-making patterns, and race execution were leaving one by one. From an outside perspective, this looks like a dismantling of the old structure that made Red Bull so strong and consistent. When all of that is combined with the challenge of building its own engine with Ford, Red Bull's outlook for 2026 looks bleak. Even about a year ago, internal conversations within the team acknowledged significant concerns. There was a fear that the Red Bull Ford power unit would start the 2026 season in a highly uncompetitive position. Some even believed they could be at the back of the pack at the start of the new era. But according to senior Formula One journalist John Noble, something crucial has changed since then. The way Red Bull talks about their project is now different. Fear is being overshadowed by cautious confidence. Red Bull hasn't suddenly declared themselves the clear favorites. But they also no longer see themselves as victims of the regulations. There's an internal belief that they will be competitive, and perhaps much closer to the front than the public predicted. This shift in mentality is crucial, as the 2026 power unit regulations are among the most complex ever introduced in Formula One. In this new era, performance is no longer determined solely by engine power. Battery efficiency, energy harvesting capabilities, electrical deployment strategies, fuel characteristics, and even engine compression ratios will all play equally important roles. Each manufacturer can excel in one area and be weak in another. In such conditions, a tenth or even 0.2 of a second per lap advantage can decide the world championship. Ferrari, despite its stellar reputation, is said to still face internal challenges with its new engine concept. Honda is beginning to have concerns about battery performance, a situation that ironically provides some reassurance for Red Bull following its separation from the Japanese manufacturer. Audi, which will enter as a new force, has publicly lowered expectations and signaled that its focus is more on the long term than on immediate results. Amidst this situation, Red Bull's recruitment strategy is starting to make sense. In recent years, they have aggressively brought in engineers from Honda and Mercedes to build their powertrain division in Milton Keynes. The combination of these two different manufacturers' technical philosophies is believed to be a hidden weapon. Rumors have even emerged Mercedes independently discovered the same regulatory loophole in the 2026 engine rules, specifically regarding compression ratios. If these rumors are true, the advantage may seem small on paper. But in an era of incredibly tight performance margins, small details can determine the entire competitive landscape. A fraction of a second can be the difference between winning and losing, between staying at the top or being relegated to the middle. From a driver perspective, Max Verstappen enters the 2026 season in an unusual situation. For the first time since 2021, he will not carry the number 1 on his car. The 2025 season was a stressful one, where despite a remarkable comeback in the second half, Verstappen lost the World Championship to Lando Norris by just 2 points. Within Red Bull, the defeat was never considered Verstappen's fault. The primary cause was believed to be a car that was too slow before the summer break. Despite the disappointment, Verstappen chose to stay. Throughout 2025, his name continued to be linked with Mercedes and Aston Martin, and the rumors have not completely subsided. If Red Bull fails to be competitive in 2026, speculation about Verstappen's departure will almost certainly rekindle. However, former world champion Damon Hill saw an important signal in Verstappen's attitude at the end of last season. According to Hill, if Red Bull were truly lost and lacking a clear direction in the new regulations, Verstappen would have shown frustration early on. He would have pressured the team, openly criticized them, or at least signaled dissatisfaction. But the opposite happened. Verstappen concluded the 2025 season by praising the team, boosting internal morale, and speaking with pride about their struggle to recover from adversity. That wasn't the behavior of a driver preparing for an exit. It was the attitude of someone who believed in the project they were building. Despite losing many big names, the Red Bull organization didn't collapse. They fought until the final race of the 2025 season under extreme pressure, and that competitive DNA remained intact. Verstappen's relationship with his race engineer remained stable, while a positive partnership began to develop with the new principal, Laurent Mekies. Ultimately, the truth will only be revealed when the 2026 cars hit the track for the first time in Australia. If Red Bull can finish near the front, Max Verstappen's long-term future will look much more secure.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up!